Hello guys, so this week's video is actually a self-portrait. It's a digital painting that I did for one of my university projects, and for this particular university project it ended in an exhibition that we had to do. It was a student-led exhibition, and the theme that I decided to go along with for this exhibition was self-portraits and to do with mental health and stuff like that. But this is one of the portraits that I did to test out the technique and which program that I would use for my final project. And also I thought it'd be fun to revisit this picture in particular. So if you've actually been subscribed since late September of 2015, you will know that I actually drew this picture as my profile picture. I've had it for 2 years and I've recently just changed everything over most of my social media. I still have a few things to do with changing over some things, but most of it is already done and you can kind of see that now. But this was the original picture. The original picture was done back in 2015 and I was 18 years old, and it's been 2 years. I still look exactly the same. Some people even say I got younger. I don't know how, but people say that, especially on my streams when there's face cam. So, yeah. This piece was actually more of a piece of development work than any kind of final piece. The final piece is I actually had to go into my university in my 2-week Easter holiday and just do screen printing because I couldn't do it any other time. It was like the best time to do it, and I did think maybe I could have had 4 pieces, but my teacher said 3 was enough, so I just did 3. That's fine. So because it was more self-portrait based, I went through a whole phase of actually just painting over actual photographs just to try and get a feel for lighting, depth and dimension, and also my facial features. I mean, some of the pictures that I did for my final piece were painted over actual photos, and there was a couple of pieces that were also just done from photo reference. So there was kind of like a mix, and it made it a lot more trippy and a lot more creepy. Now that was the whole thing I was going for with my whole exhibition piece. Now when people walked past it, the amount of people that said they actually felt some kind of emotion was actually good, because that was the whole point. It didn't matter what kind of emotion you felt from those images, as long as it made you feel something, then that was the result that I wanted. Now, the original pictures that I did were actually of my sad face, and it's kind of embarrassing, but it goes into mental health and all that, and I'll actually put on screen the final images. Now, I actually did screen print on top of the digital paintings. How I did that was I digital painted them on Photoshop, and then I printed them out on nice matte paper, and then I used screen print on top of that to actually create a more vivid and clear impact. Another way it challenged the mental norm is that people seem to have this stigma that digital art isn't art, and that was the whole basis around my piece as well. So on the one side it had the emotional impact of mental health and mental stability, and on the other side it kind of challenged the norms of what digital art has this stigma that it can't do, that traditional art can do. Essentially, digital art always has this kind of thing where you can't get emotional with it. There's no real background to it, and I wanted to prove that wrong in my exhibition piece, and that was the whole point. So I wanted to have 2 sides of a coin that you could actually view this from. So I actually thought I'd lost this video because I had no idea if I'd record it or not, or the stream had crashed or something had gone wrong, because usually it does. What's a stream without technical difficulties these days? But I actually found it in my files, and I thought that I would bring this video to you guys today because I haven't done any other video, and I've been working on other things. So basically there's a lot of half finished things or things that I've just started but haven't been able to finish on time before a video deadline, which is usually a weekend. So that is why you're getting an older video. Because this is development work of a university module, there was a lot of time to actually improve and just expand on my knowledge, and I really wanted to use digital painting for this particular university module, and I improved a lot on my digital painting. I saw a complete drastic improvement from start to finish, and it was amazing just to see it. And I feel like definitely going the more realistic route was definitely a better call. I have a new love and respect for people who do value painting. It's basically painting in black and white, because it's actually really difficult, because you have to focus more so on the shadows and the lights to actually try and create a sense of depth and dimension. So I can't quite remember whether this was actually one of the first pieces I did on my Cintiq or one of the last pieces I did on my Intuos Pro, my little small Intuos. So I really can't remember. If it was on my Intuos, well, you can see that I was pretty rusty. But I think it was more so on my Cintiq, and that also is a big determining factor due to the fact that I'd hardly used my Cintiq before. It was very brand new to me, and there is a learning curve with a Cintiq that people don't seem to quite understand. Sometimes people seem to think that there's no learning curve with a Cintiq because you're drawing straight on to a surface. It's kind of like doing traditional art in that way. But yes, the learning curve is less steeper than a regular graphics tablet, but it's still there. It's something you have to remember when getting it, and even transferring from a regular little graphics tablet to a Cintiq with a screen, there is going to be that jump and that learning curve that you need to get over. I was actually extremely stubborn with not using a graphics tablet in the first instance, because I actually got a graphics tablet around, I think, 2013, and I just didn't want to use it. I didn't want to know. I just had a bad first tablet experience, you know, those really cheap ones with the really horrible janky lines, you know, those ones, just terrible. They were no Wacom smooth as butter tablets, I can tell you now. I was so stubborn that I didn't start using a graphics tablet until like mid 2014 when I went back to college. That is how stubborn I became. So a digital art experience for me has pretty much been over the last 6 years, and most of that time I've been doing line art, and I really wanted to start doing a painterly style, so taking down techniques from other artists who use traditional media and just trying to make the blending and everything else just look as natural as possible. It's harder than you think it is, definitely. I have immense respect for Jenna, who does this every week, and even 2 videos a week. I can barely even manage 1 sometimes. I don't know how on earth she does it and how she gets through digital art so quickly, because it takes me hours, sometimes days, and sometimes like multiple days to produce a piece of digital art with painterly style. Speaking of Jenna, I'm actually live streaming with Jenna a lot more, so not just on Skype but actually doing dual streams on her channel, which is incredible, and a lot of people have found me through Jenna. So if you have, well, hello, thank you for subscribing. It's very sweet of you even to just check me out, so thanks. Dual streams are actually where you can see my screen and Jenna's screen, and they flash between each other on Google Hangouts. Currently, dual streams are more so on Jenna's timetable because she's got exams coming up in June, and obviously she has more control over that, and as soon as she's finished exams we'll be having dual streams on my channel as well. So we are actually nearing the end of the video. Now I want to know, what do you want to see from me this summer, because I have a lot of video ideas. Obviously there's still going to be the regular scrawler box and draw this again, but for draw this again, what would you like me to redraw? I've already had a suggestion of the umbrella boat, which actually was a video during 2015, and it was actually done for my college portfolio to get into universities. So I'm really wondering what you guys want to see from this channel. So comment down below for your suggestions and video ideas and for what I could redraw next. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!